Now, guys, I'm going to level with you. We live in the worst time ever for AAA gaming, and I know a lot of you will be like, yeah, Leon, we know. However, I'm coming with some irrefutable proof that even the naysayers at this point will be like, damn, he right. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and I want to focus on this post on X right here. And we're going to get to the proof in a moment, right? Not just some rando on X. We're going to look at what actual devs have to say. But devs do hate you, and they hate their own work, they hate their past work, and they have no concept of game preservation. So before we get into that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. And we got this post. What's so interesting about this post? Resident Evil nostalgia writers, when you tell them you didn't play an OG game back in the 90s on a GameCube and you like a remake of it instead. Now, there's so much wrong with this. Obviously, we've got the idea of 90s and GameCube. That in and of itself is incongruent. But more importantly, we got the idea that Resident Evil nostalgia writers, people that like the older games are just that. They're coasting on nostalgia. It couldn't possibly be that old thing actually was better thing. Now, initially, you go, all right, Leon, rage bait. Fellow rage bait. Maybe. But it still speaks to a broader point. Also, I'd like to point out, no blue check mark. So if it is rage bait, well, they's doing it for the love of the game. But also, locked replies. Locked replies. Now, why would you lock replies? Because it ain't going your way. After 52 comments, it gets a lot down. 2,200 likes, some bookmarks, the whole nine. Nearly a milli views. Nearly a milli views. Mustered up 22-something likes. Come on now. Not arguing with people with people lacking basic literacy. But let's see what people were actually saying. Good. Stop acting like it's a bad thing and stop being so dumb. So far, it seems the OG writers are the dumb ones. Why? I'm confused, but okay. So no argument whatsoever. GameCube, 90s, right? And again, individual calling out that it's rage bait. Is it okay, 4chan user? Right. Person has no argument. Remake TARs when you tell them to play a game before 2015. Yeah, it's pretty accurate. But again, you don't even know what games I played. Now I'm gonna be real, guys. I don't believe this individual's played any games ever, just in the history. They got pronouns in their bios. They ain't a gamer. Back in the 90s on GameCube, you're retarded. Shut up. For some people who live so long on Earth, you don't know how. See, hyperbole, guys. That's not how hyperbole works. I want to get to this post in specific, right? I want to get to this post specifically. That's not how hyperbole works. Hyperbole obviously being an exaggeration for effect, but when the exaggeration that you use completely counteracts how history worked, right? How history worked, it just makes you sound insane. Now, the reason I'm bringing up this post, rage bait or not, these people are real. These people are real, and these are the people that game devs are catering to. How do we know? We got this right here. And these are the words from an actual dev. Go back and play Morrowind and tell me that's the game you want to play again. Former Bethesda veteran delivers his verdict on potential Elder Scrolls remasters. Why not go make something new? And then, off the top, that's fair. Why not make something new? Maybe because new shit been trash, bro. Maybe because new shit has been trash for the vast majority of AAA games. I don't give a damn how much suds you could see in the glass bottle on GTA 6. I want the game to be good, and shiny new graphics ain't gonna make it good. But what did he actually say? A former veteran Bethesda developer has cast doubt on the possibility of a Morrowind remaster in the same vein as the recently released Oblivion remaster, saying going back to play the Elder Scrolls 3 now, over 20 years after it came out, would make fans cringe. Would make fans cringe. As if there aren't folk out there that do in fact just go back and play games they love. Old hardware, new hardware, doesn't matter. Maybe you've got an HD remasters that have some quality of life stuff. But by and large, just because it's an old game has no bearing whatsoever. In fact, a lot of people go back and play old games. We'll get into more of that in a moment. Bethesda is heavily rumored to be preparing Fallout remasters, with Fallout 3 and New Vegas suggested in the works. But Morrowind, considered by many to be the greatest Elder Scrolls game ever created, interesting. So you tell me 20 years plus later, it's still considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Elder Scrolls game ever created by many? Awful strange, don't want to preserve it, but alright, we'll go from there. Morrowind, considered many of the greatest Elder Scrolls games ever released. does not seem to be part of the remaster conversation. Sorry. Why? In an interview with Pressbox PR, Bruce Nesmith, who led Bethesda in 2021, midway through development of Starfield, having worked at the company for over 17 years, highlighted a number of reasons why Morrowind probably wouldn't be at the top of Todd Howard's remaster list. Now, mind you, why would people be calling for a remaster? A remaster of Morrowind, more accessible on all these modern consoles, but the guy that worked on Starfield, he wants to talk about why not go and make something new. You answered your own question, Brucey boy. Why not go make... Because the last new thing you made was Starfield. And how did that work out for you? How did that work out for the fans? It gets worse. The problem with doing Morrowind is that I bet they don't have the original code, Nesmith said. The game is so old, I don't know if the original source code exists anymore. Dude, it's been 17 years, right? Or 20 years, however long it's been. It ain't been that fucking long. In the grand scheme, it ain't that long. If you're telling me you don't have the source code, someone didn't back it up, if you don't keep the source code for these sorts of games and projects, if for nothing else than preservation purposes, because I'm one of those people, call me crazy, that does believe that, at least in some form, in some capacity, video games are art, right? Video games are works of art. Like, how much art have we lost over the case, just the entirety of human history? Because motherfuckers just look at things as if it's a business, so they only look at how they can monetize it, or they just don't see it as anything special. How many paintings have we lost? Hell, how many movies have we lost because they were improperly stored and the original negatives and film and whatnot got damaged beyond repair? Like, it's actually a really common thing. So the idea that these business folk, right, these dudes don't take preservation seriously, they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot, because hypothetically, if they were to take preservation seriously, they could even remonetize it later, make even more of that money, but they don't even do that. There is no value from these devs, from these corporations, from these money men, from the people up top with the suits and the nice, the ties and the jackets with the C-suite office. They don't give a shit about any of that. It's all about the immediate future and getting individuals like this right here to buy the product, right? They don't care about preservation. They also don't care about the artistic integrity, and they don't care about the type of players that will go back and play old games, which, by the way, is a lot of folk, right? This is who they want to win over, so they don't have to do any sort of preservation. If it does, can you even compile it? When you're looking at Oblivion, they still had that code. They could still compile it. Putting the code into the new version of the engine was a possibility. The other thing I would say is go back and play Morrowind. Tell me that's the game you want to play. Yes. Yes, it is. That's absolutely. You want to know how I can tell you that's the game I want to play? Well, not me, because I'm not an Elder Scrolls fan, but I can imagine for you guys that are Elder Scrolls fans, that is the game you want to play again. Now, I can say that myself about other games. You want to know why? Because I can go right here. I can go to my Steam account, and I can type in Duke Nukem right here. Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour. Now, it's got a little bit of changes, a little bit of updates, a little bit of quality of life stuff into it, but by and large, it's the same fucking game. Say, dude, this game came out a long ass time ago, and this game is beautiful. Love this game. Absolutely love this game. There's a whole lot of games on here, man. I was gifted, what was Blood Rain, man. Blood Rain 1 and, or was it Blood Rain? Yeah, Blood Rain 1 and 2. Now, I haven't gotten to these yet. Shout out to the viewer that gifted it to me. Thank you so much. I haven't gotten to playing them yet, but I will now be able to re-experience Blood Rain 1 and 2. I haven't been able to in a long ass time. A lot of motherfuckers like playing old shit. Alright? Man, I'm showing off my Steam category here, my Steam library, and a lot of you guys can be like, yo, Leon, what's up with all the Gooner games? You all know why we got them Gooner games. You freaky deeks out there that be sending me some weird shit. Oddworld, right here. Oddworld Stranger's Wrath HD. I haven't gotten super far into it yet, right? It says playtime 67 minutes, but I've been enjoying it. I've absolutely been enjoying going back to see Oddworld. This is original PlayStation, Xbox, if I recall. Maybe, I don't think it was 360, right? Pretty sure this was just the first Xbox. All sorts of these, right? All sorts of these. Persona 4 Golden. Persona 4 Golden. Go back. Look at 82 hours in it so far. 82 hours. Don't for a moment try and tell me that these aren't the games we want to go back and play again. It is very obviously these are the games we want to go back and play again, right? That's just on Steam. I didn't even bring up GOG. Just wait. Hold your horses. We'll get there. We all have these fond memories of things that were pivotal moments in your gaming fantasy histories that were that we absolutely move, but you go back and play a 20-year-old game and you will cringe. He's so stuck on that. He's stuck on the idea of going back and playing 20-year-old games and cringing. Guys, I'm gonna be real. The only time I'm not cringing nowadays is when I'm playing indie games. Now, what about indie games, right? What about indie games? Well, I'll tell you about indie games. Want to know what I've been playing? I've been playing Flesh Made Fear. Yeah, this is technically a modern game in that it came out last year. Y'all want to know what it looks like, though? Y'all want to see what Flesh Made Fear looks like? I'll show you. Looks like this right here. It's done in the vein of an old PlayStation 1 game. PSX Survival Horror Revive. That's the marketing. Like these devs understand that there are people actually want that style. That this is something that is beloved. So it's made in that vein. And let me tell you, I've played it and beaten it twice so far. I've got to do at least 2 more playthroughs to get all the trophies, get all the achievements in, to max it out because my dumbass screwed up and I missed a couple things. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, look at the style. It's done intentionally with PSX graphics. It's done intentionally with tank controls. It's like the entire marketing, and this is not an uncommon thing. This is incredibly normal in survival horror, for example. You get this sort of just like genre, like time capsule of a game. So yeah, it is technically modern. But when you say go back and play a 20-year-old game and you'll cringe, well, this is being made in the vein of games that are 30 years old. We are in 2026. We are 30 years out from the first Resident Evil game. First Resident Evil game having released in 1996. So we want to go back and we want to play games even older. In fact, we'll get even more to that in a moment. But let's see the rest of what he said, even though he's completely wrong. I just want to really drive the point home. These devs don't care about you, but they also don't care about their own prior work. They just care about the Ouroboros effect of the new customer, of this person right here, the Ouroboros effect of new customer buy new thing. They create another new thing with that money. That way new customer can buy a new thing, even though that is actually not what the majority sentiment is. People even had cringe moments with Oblivion Remake, but they forgave it because they were reliving something. I could goddamn guarantee you, most folk had less cringe moments with the Oblivion Remake than they remaster, by the way, not remake, remaster. Most people had less cringe moments with the Oblivion remaster than they did Starfield. I can good goddamn tell you that. I'm sure. In fact, let me know if you're seeing this for the first time, or maybe if you're not seeing it for the time, if you're just one of my regular viewers. Either way, if you played both the Oblivion remaster and Starfield, let me know in the comments. Just give me a nice little tip of the hat and tell me which one had more cringe moments. Whether it be cringe for dialogue, whether it be cringe for the story, or whether it be cringe to gameplay and bugs and glitches and shit like that. Because again, I'd be willing to take a bet that Starfield was the far more cringe of the two. But anyway, they forgave it because they were reliving something. They're enjoying the nostalgia. And there it is. They think that the entirety of this market is just nostalgia. They think that people are only buying it because, oh, I remember thing. When, no, that's bullshit. Guys, just because a movie came out in the 80s and you watch it now and you like it now, you're not just enjoying Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger because of nostalgia. Maybe you're enjoying Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger because it's a good fucking movie. It doesn't matter if you saw it when you were 6. Guys, Empire Strikes Back, good fucking movie. Now, I saw Empire Strikes Back real young, right? I saw Empire Strikes Back when I was like 4 years old, maybe even younger. Let me tell you, I viscerally remember being terrified, like hiding behind my granny and grandpa's couch when Darth Vader had Luke effectively dead to rights, and then he said, "I'm your father," and Luke screams. Like, that was a seminal moment for your boy. So am I nostalgic for Empire Strikes Back? No, not really. It's just a good movie on its own. I am nostalgic for being that young little child that was, playing around on the floor of my grandparents' trailer with a couch that I could hide behind, and that big boxy TV, and, the smell of, like, cigarette smoke in the air. I'm nostalgic for that. Watching Empire Strikes Back now that I'm in my 30s doesn't really bring that back. I just appreciate the fact that it's a good fucking movie. But again, if they can just try and use nostalgia as the excuse for anything and everything, then literally they just have they just go carte blanche with writing off whatever opinion they want as nostalgia. So that's why we're looking at this one right here. Because what this dude is saying is the exact same thing as what this rando loser nobody potential rage baiter said. His exact words: they forgave it because they're reliving something. They're enjoying the nostalgia. Resident Evil nostalgia writers, when you tell them you didn't play an OG game back in the 90s on a GameCube and you like the remake instead, they think they can use nostalgia as just, oh, that's why people like it, not because it's actually good, as opposed to maybe, just maybe, thinking and accepting even that new thing probably isn't good. It's not good. In fact, or even if it is, old thing was better. That's another thing. New thing can be good, but what's the point in new thing being good if old thing was better? I worked on Oblivion. I'm responsible for some of those cringe moments. The further back you go, the more that's going to be an issue. The reality of playing Morrowind would not stand the test of time, in my opinion. Well, it's a dumbass opinion, because a lot of folks still play it, right? A lot of folks still play it. But guys, this isn't even just like one Western dev. This isn't just one Bethesda guy. This is something that's happening in the East as well. I've covered this before, but we'll cover it again in case you need a little memory. Capcom execs were bewildered that people might want to play the original Resident Evil when GOG approached them about it. We have all those remakes. It's already the superior experience. Well, let me tell you, as someone who's been playing Resident Evil since 1998, I can good goddamn tell you they are not the superior experience. And don't get me wrong, I would like them to be. As a Resident Evil fan, I would like them to be the superior experience. I never like seeing thing from my favorite franchise be released and not be good. Trust me, it was pretty goddamn soul-crushing when Resident Evil 6 wasn't really that good. It was definitely soul-crushing when Resident Evil 8 absolutely was just, I was apathetic towards it when I was finished with it, if I'm being completely honest with you. Remake of Resident Evil 2 is fine, it's okay, it's still not as good as the original, but I'll accept it. But the thing is, we have the remakes, the superior experience. That's the case for one remake, one singular remake. The remake of the first one they did on the GameCube. They remade it on the GameCube, and it was way far superior than the original on the PlayStation 1 back in 1996. A full ground-up remake. That remake is so good, it has been ported pretty much almost as much as Skyrim and Resident Evil 4 at this point to other systems, and Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, what have you. Like, it's full in HD, quality of life stuff. You don't even have to use tank controls anymore. You don't even have to use tank controls. For some of you pussies out there that don't know how tank controls work, you can use regular control schemes on the Resident Evil 1 remake. Yeah, I will say the Resident Evil 1 remake is the superior experience. But the point is, the Capcom execs were bewildered that GOG even approached it. They couldn't conceive of the fact, they couldn't fathom the idea that some of us gamers would want to play the originals, not even over the remakes, maybe in tandem with. Maybe just in tandem with the remakes. Like, it's mind-blowing. So when you've got Homeboy from Bethesda coming back and saying, go back and play a 20-year-old game, you will cringe. Bullshit. This is an interesting post right here. Hamas number one, Hammonds? Whatever. Number one simp. Fear. This is another game I got on Steam. I have all three of them on Steam, mind you. I have Fear 1 through 3. I know a lot of motherfuckers hate 3. You know, we can talk about that later. Point is, I got all the Fear games on Steam. Why? Because I loved them back in the fucking day, and they were great. Fear 20-year-old game. Doom 3, hot take, my favorite Doom. Yes, even more so than the original. Now, I love me some OG Doom, but Doom 3 is my favorite Doom. Game still holds up beautifully, holds up brilliantly. I played it very recently. Ground Control, no idea. I'm gonna be real, never played. Never played Ground. I'm just gonna trust y'all motherfuckers that it holds up real well, but I've never played it. And then we get right here, the very same remake I was talking about just a few moments ago, the Resident Evil 1 remake, the one that actually is superior to the original. So yeah, go back and play a 20-year-old game, you will cringe. I call bullshit, my friend. 20 years really isn't that long ago. 20 years was 2006. We can all remember where we were in 2006. Guys, 2006 was the cusp. That was the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 and Wii era. That really wasn't that long ago. Games haven't, like, gotten just immensely more incredible than that era. If anything, has been incremental. If anything, games from the PS3 to, let's say, the PS5 era, the growth it's been kind of marginal compared to like going from 8-bit to 16-bit to full on 3D. Like tell me with a straight fucking face that the PS3 to the PS5 is as impressive as, you know, the Nintendo, the regular Nintendo Entertainment System to the GameCube, in terms of leaps, in terms of technological leaps, in terms of what we were able to do with gaming, what we were able to experience, even visually. I saw this post on X a couple days ago that was showing games from a decade ago, 2016. We talking the beginning of the Trump era, right after Gamergate. That era of gaming, 2016, graphically, homie, I couldn't tell a fucking difference between them and the shit that's coming out now. So yes, I 100% reject go back and play a 20-year-old game and you will cringe. And not only should you guys reject it as well, I need y'all to understand that these folk, whether it be the modern day new gen tourist fans or the devs that are selling shit to them, they hate you and they hate their legacy. That's the worst part of all of it. But these are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word, and please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not always about the gaming industry, but anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check us out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles you go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos react to on the daily streams, and of course get involved with over 250 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to go even further, because we do care about diversity. Only one kind of diversity of thought. That's interesting to you. Join the Discord, subscribe. Until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.